So, I am sitting on the couch thinking to myself, because union reps was such a big wave, and I don't live off of union reps, and so like I'm not legally married um, right now, but I have rings on my fingers. I do not have a um, wedding ring on my finger, and there's a guy out there that's fighting his truth, his reality, his truth. But so I am like officially single, I was seeing some guys or whatever, I was like trying to pursue them and stuff. They were the one pursuing me, but whatever, but I am not. But being in a relationship versus being married is two completely different things, way different. When you're married, you have to like file your taxes different, you have to do things different. Like typically the woman changes her name, the man can change her name too, but being married versus being in a relationship with somebody is two different things. Their credit score, their debt, their habits affect your habits, so like if they are struggling with their credit card, if you are actually legitimately married to them, it can affect your credit score also, if you guys stop share checking accounts and stuff, it can affect your accounts. But the thing is, you can have a shared checking account without being married. I don't think people understand that, but that is something that people struggle with, is you can have a shared account and not be married. And so, but I do not have a shared checking account, saving account with anybody, nobody. It's strictly me. If something goes missing, something messes up in my account, I know it's a hacker, because it is. And even when I get married, I want my own accounts, and people know that. I've made videos about it. People don't need to know it, and apparently I'm talking to a union rep. Speaking of union reps, so union reps is like people who, so I wearing my purple and my purple and my ring, and that's just it's a ring that I bought because I went through the pro card thing, and it blew up in town, and I became really famous off of it, and it drove me crazy. And then last spring, all this stuff went away, and I'm just like, you know what, I want to get something to remember what I went through. I lost a lawsuit, it was fine, whatever. And but I was like, I want to remember this, so I bought this ring, and people freaked out. But while I was going through it, I was Raj, the FedEx guy, I think he wants to put a restraining order on me because I talk about him so much. But his kids, he needs to take care of his kids. Like, I know he promised to not come in and take care of that, but he really needs to take care of that before he considers anything like that. But he was basically my union rep, so he was basically, I was married to him illegally, but I wasn't. He couldn't affect my credit score, he couldn't really touch my savings, checkings, or anything like that, he could give me gifts, he could like call up and like pay off my phone, whatever. He could do that stuff, I don't really know how, my phone, he didn't pay off my phone, I paid off my own phone, stuff like that. But which means you wear your your ring on this side, not this side. And then we learned about rings and stuff like that, and rings, and so like I can take off my rings and not wear any rings, and not have a union rep in my life, and still have like different color rings on my fingers. You don't actually have to wear rings on your fingers, but you can wear rings on your fingers if you want, but so like I have a gold ring that I think he gave me, and then he kind of like left. We're not together whatsoever and stuff, and we're not married, or he's not my union rep, or like we are completely disconnected from one another. But I think I still have this ring, and so I play with it sometimes, and people think I'm writing contracts or documents and stuff, and then they think they can, like, I'm just like the like and if you're working for a company, so like let's just say you're working for a company, you get healthcare. You yourself can get healthcare. No one else can get healthcare. They can't use your healthcare. Only you can use your healthcare. Unless you get married or you have a dependent. So if you have like a child or something, if you that child can get your healthcare if you choose, you know. But you yourself, like, no one else, and I know they're trying to plan on being my kid now, you know, but no one else can use your healthcare. And so it's the same thing with the rings. It's like I write the things, you know, like DigiKey. I was working at DigiKey. They're obsessed with stealing people's bodies or souls. I was aware of that. First day, they're like, we're gonna learn to fly. And I'm just like, oh, it's that. And I'm just like locked down. I'm just like, I am gonna ground myself, you know? And so, because I know sometimes when you lose your body, you don't get it back. And so I did that, you know? And so the thing is, if I start doing it and I have the ability to do it, does not mean all my other coworkers have the ability to do it, because it's not DigiKey's healthcare, it's mine. You know, it's my healthcare that I have for myself. Other people cannot take it from me, use it, or anything like that. If they can hack into it and use it, they will get in trouble, probably from the police. Just saying. Or from DigiKey, because you didn't follow policy and stuff like that. But so my thing is, people always wonder what a wedding ring is a wedding ring is two people who decide to stick it out with one another, and one of them decides, is like, hey, let's make it public, let's make a celebration out of it. And they're like, oh, okay, you know. And then you have a celebration and you make vows of like, hey, I promise that we will stick together as long as whatever, but you can get a divorce, you know. And then you put this wedding ring on your finger. Or in other countries, you know, it's a different thing. But then you wear this wedding ring in the symbol of like, hey, I made a promise or a devotion to this other individual that I will be whatever to this other individual. But once you sign that piece of paper, and then other people have to sign that piece of paper also, because you have to have witnesses, then you guys have to figure more legal things out, like taxes and other things. But that's why, you know, a wedding ring is just a wedding ring. It's just, and you can have a wedding ring on your finger and not have those paperwork too. But you also need dependents. It's crazy how this hacker is obsessed, because people who think wedding, like, if they can rob you, it means that they're married to you. That's not what it means. If somebody can rob you, you're not married to them. But so union reps is like, you have a husband that doesn't sit next to you, but you see them on the other side. And when people like, go find a new union rep, it just means go find a new husband or wife if you're a lesbian on the other side. But it's not. Whatever. But the police officer that died in the car accident, I was trying to see if he wanted to get married, you know? And because I think I can figure out how to legally marry him through the union ways. He would just be my union husband, but backwards. But so I would always be like single, or I'll have like a boyfriend or something, but I can never really actually get married because we live in the United States and you only can have one husband.